Well, thank you for that little opportunity that you've given me to play a little piano for you. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope it didn't tax your patience too much. Again, I'm Rick Williams, your host for the Williams Holiday Weekend, and we're going to take a few minutes here and get to meet the oldest son in the Williams family, Mr. Bob Williams.
What are you?
As you know, with firstborn children, Bob had an interesting childhood. Many of the experiments that my parents decided to conduct were conducted on Bob, and as you can see, or as you will see as you meet Bob, Bob the man, Bob the myth, and you know him, you love him as Bob the legend. Let's get a chance to meet Bob, and let's ask him our first question. Bob, what do you remember most about being the firstborn child?
Well, Rick, I'll tell you. And let me just say, I'm real happy to be here, real pleased to be a part of this Williams Holiday Weekend. The thing I most remember about childhood was taking out the garbage, really. I did a lot of taking out of garbage, and there was a lot of garbage. There were 6 of us, 6 children, and we produced a lot of garbage, Rick, and that's pretty much what I remember.
Garbage, huh, Bob? Well, that's very interesting. Do I detect a note of bitterness there against maybe the other children, or maybe even against the folks? Well, never mind that. Bob, let me tell you, now that you've grown and are a mature adult, what is the one element of your childhood that you wish you could still have in your life today?
My innocence. And let me, while I'm on the subject of children, Rick, let me tell you something that really bugs me, okay? Kids on leashes. Now, you see these kids in grocery stores, and I know kids get out of hand. I mean, they got out of hand a couple times in life. You know, in grocery stores, you know, Mom, can I have this, and Mom, can I have that? You know, Mom, can I go to the store? Okay, but you can't have anything. Okay, Mom, can I have this? Mom, can I have that? So, you know, kids on leashes. It's degrading, Rick. It's degrading, and it bothers me. And it reminds me of these doggone bleeding heart liberals complaining about arms shipments, okay? And S. Brian Wilson loses his legs and cries and says, you know, I mean, you know, and Gary Hart, okay, Gary Hart, okay. I'm seriously bebopping here, folks. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, Gary Hart, I think, is the best thing that's happened for the Republican Party since Grover Cleveland.
I understand that you play a little trombone. Go.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do, Rick.
Well, I've always heard that you know, people who train in music and who work at music really become finer citizens. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but you know, it's the way their brain develops. They learn to hear and see music with a different part of their brain. And you know, Bob, I'm just curious, how did you get your start in music?
When did I get my start in music? I'll tell you, Rick. I remember it like it was yesterday. In fact, I think it was no, it was I was about 3, and I was taking a nap after a particularly severe beating, and the radio was on, and I heard These Boots Are Made for Walking by Nancy Sinatra. Do you remember the tune? I thought, wow, music is what I thought. And I said to Mom, Mom, I want to play something. I want to make music. I want to send spontaneously created vibrations into the cosmos, Mom. I said this when I was 3. And she said, well, I'm sorry, but you can't. And I threw a temper tantrum, and she said, okay. And she bought me a trombone. The trombone, what can I say about the trombone? I really hate it, but I've played it for so long, you know, that I couldn't start another instrument now. The trombone is an incredibly cumbersome instrument. Frankly, there are times when I like to shrivel it up into like an aluminum can. I'd like to shrivel them up into a little wad of beer can and throw it into a garbage can and hear it kind of rattle around, you know. But then somebody calls me up and says, hey, Bob, want to make $50 playing on Saturday? I say, that's exactly what I say. And it's a real love-hate relationship, you know, but when it gets real, when it gets tough, when times get hard, and I get kind of sad and kind of melancholy and wish I could play a chord or two, you know? You ever get that feeling like you want to just play a chord or two, but you can't because it's a trombone? This is kind of tender for me. I think back and I think about Nancy and what would Nancy say? You know what she'd say? She'd say, these boots are made for walking, and that's just what they do. And one of these days, these boots are going to walk all over you.
Well, Bob, that's very interesting the way that you got your start and hearing about the things that influence you a little bit. But what about someone getting their start? What about a kid just considering a career in music? What would you have to say to that kid?
Well, a youngster trying to make it in music, I'd have this advice, Rick. Get out of the business. I'll tell you why. They got computers now, Rick. They got computers, you can sneeze into a computer, and you can have it turn into a whole symphony. You know that? They do soundtracks these days, Rick, with two guys. We're talking full orchestra, we're talking theme from Star Wars, okay? With two guys. One guy burping, and the other guy sneezing. And then you compare that with real estate. There's major bucks in real estate. It's land. People want land. There's bucks to be had. There's lucre to be made. Music is dead-end stuff. It's for creeps. It's for people, Rick, who wear floodwater pants and have about 15 pence in their pocket with those little plastic things, okay? It's not hip. I'll tell you what's hip. You want to know what's hip? Get into video games. Get really good at video games. That is hip. Music's gone. I'm just waiting to die.
Well, Bob, I'll tell you something. For our viewers, I think I speak for our viewers when I say we appreciate your positive attitude about life and about your particular career. I tell you, Bob, this has been a very enjoyable experience talking with you and getting to meet you a little bit better on this Williams holiday weekend. And I know in the years to come, our viewers will be looking forward to seeing you and the changes that take place in your life as you approach that fateful day of death. By the way, I've got a friend who runs a mortuary. Maybe I could put you in touch with him. Bob, last question. Where will you be in 10 years, and how will this Williams holiday weekend, Christmas 1987, affect you?
Well, Rick, in 10 years I expect to be washing dishes for some sort of chili diner. And how will this Christmas 1987 have affected me? I'll probably be wearing a lot of the same clothes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got an exclusive opportunity to meet Bob Williams, the Rick Williams Holiday Weekend way, the one and the only way to see each and every member of the Williams family as they are, where they are, with what they've got. Now let me tell you something. We're going to bring you the hard-hitting, insightful, personal vignettes of everyone in the Williams family. There's more to come. Stay with us.